What about for the people who are single, right? So a lot of this was contextual for people that in relationships, things they can do. What about for the single female who's ambitious, who's going, I just can't find the right man, no men out there, and they're in this sort of way, and like, how can they you do this on their own to get themselves back into a natural flow to maybe get in a vibration to attract someone who's high in testosterone?
It's very hard. So sorry for the women today. You need to be making estrogen to attract the right guy. And if you're not making enough estrogen, you could be pursuing the wrong guys. This is just what happens. The men that you're pursuing are almost always the wrong guys. The good guys who approach you, if you don't have a lot of estrogen, they're going to seem boring to you. These women, they're never going to be good enough. These women say, I look everywhere, all the best men are taken. No, the best men are out there. They're always there. But you don't see them because your hormones are not being produced where you see that, oh, I like this kind of a guy. Because when your estrogen is low, you're attracted to a man who's not available. That's it. You're attracted to somebody you have to please. See, as a man, when I'm on my male side, I'm attracted to a woman who needs my help. Okay, that's it. That's why you're attracted to a woman. She needs your help. There's something she needs from you, and you go, I can provide it. Okay, so that's what raises your testosterone is something I provide. So when a woman's producing more of her male side, she's going to be attracted to and she'll pursue men who are not available to her. That's just what it is. It's not like a man who has anything to give her. See, if she's on her female side, she's only attracted to men that can give me what I need. But she doesn't feel what she needs, which her brain becomes hyper picky, hyper judgmental, hyper critical. And the only man she's not going to be critical of is the man who's not available to her, who basically wants to use her. And now we're back to the whole dating scene with the 10% of women, the 10% of men who are getting laid are these women who want that kind of man. And they pursue that man. And now they're bitter about men because those men do not want to make a commitment. If you've got so many women saying, yes, 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 it's very hard to feel a real connection with a woman because to feel connection for a man, he needs to feel I earned it. I made it happen. I pursued and I did it. There's a place of I took action and I got what I wanted. If you think about your life, Morgan, just when you told me you made $1 million, such a sense of pride, I can make $1 million in a year. Oh my gosh, that's just so amazing because you do it. Nobody gave it to you. If you look at some of the most dysfunctional people of men, not so much with women, this is a male thing. A man who is out of work, so he can't do anything to make money. Okay. Man out of work, can't do anything to make money. He's going to have the worst behaviors. Okay? That's it. He's violent. He's depressed. His estrogen. Remember, violence, aggression only happens when a man is weak on his male side and his female side is too high. So that's where the anger comes from. And I don't want men to feel bad because they get their anger. We're all on our female side today. Our culture has demasculated us. I wanted to tell this funny thing I just recently heard. They did one study showing that, when a man is solving problems successfully, his testosterone goes up 7%. If he fails, it goes down 7%, just to see the fluctuations. Well, if a man is chopping wood, it goes up 20%. So this is the actual act of chopping wood. It's more primitive. It's man solving problem because you only chop wood to provide wood for heat for the home. And I'm reminded of one of the times my wife and I we had a vacation home. It was a ranch and it was new and it didn't have a lot of good heating, double pane glass, and it was winter and it was cold. And we were kind of arguing on the way up. This is when we used to argue and not get along so well. And we got there and the little house was too cold and there was wood and we built a fire. And just sitting next to the fire because we were so cold, we had nothing to argue about. Because see, we suddenly went back into survival mode where I was providing and making the fire and she was feeling the fire. And also you're out in the woods. Women are going to feel more vulnerable. This is amazing stuff to bring out the masculine side. So women who think there's not enough men are attracted to the wrong men, the unavailable men. It's because you don't trust that I deserve the right man. And deep down inside, you're not aware of that unless you're in therapy. But that's what's behind it, is when you feel I deserve, you're actually able to see the men who can give you what you need. Otherwise, they seem very boring to you. So what do?
Wow.
Start dating. Don't pursue men at all. Only date the men who you're not turned on to, you're not excited by, you're not like feeling it's so important to get this guy, but you have a guy who's really interested in you, who's kind of boring, and you practice new relationship skills. He's only boring because you're not in touch with your feminine side, which is happy and joyful and fulfilled. Your brain is too critical. And I know many of my clients, they're such lovely people, lovely women, people pleasers, delightful, but inside they're hypercritical of their husbands. Okay, just hypercritical of men. And you go, how could somebody be so bubbly and positive? Because inside it's just a cover up. It's a people pleaser because I don't trust that people will be there for me. So this is learning how to come back to your female side, getting a man to start doing these hacks for you, which I explain in my books. and And my dating book, I explain, and that's a whole nother hour, Morgan, if you really want to go into dating.
Yeah.
But to simply put, I wanted to give a simple answer. You have to learn how to come back to your female side. So one hack when you're on your female side and you're dating is don't look for the perfect person. Don't look to find a mate. Don't pursue. Instead, take what you can get because somebody's more interested in you than you're interested in them. That's the first step. Go on dates with them. Don't have sex with them. Just go on dates with them and practice being feminine. Okay, because the reason you're single is because you're in your male side. So what does it mean to be feminine? It's very hard if you have a challenge being on your female side. You definitely don't want to be in a relationship with a guy for a while who you want to be with, because now you're trying to impress them and you want to make sure they like you, and that causes you to go to your male side. Because you're already on your male side, you stay stuck there. So find somebody who wants to please you more than you care about pleasing them. That's A. 2, ask for what you want. Never go on a date that he wants to do. Say, this is 3 things I'd like to do. And for married couples, I say to my wife, what do you want to do? I'm not going to ever do that. I'm going to say a week in advance if I want it to be romantic. Let's plan something next week. Women love when you plan things. Gives them a chance to prepare for it, get ready for it, think about it. Their estrogen levels go up as they're thinking about it. And give me 3 things and I'll pick. Because that's also, you need to pick the date, because then she doesn't feel the pressure that you're going to like it or not like it. So give me 3 things you like to do and I'll do that. Because the date is me providing something for you that you could provide for yourself, but you don't have to do it. So typically what dates are is you go to a restaurant, for example. Well, she can cook for herself, but she didn't have to cook for herself. Somebody else is going to do it. You go to a hotel room. Well, a hotel room, somebody else cleaned the sheets. Somebody's going to clean up afterwards. You didn't have to anything to do with this. Don't worry about anything. It's just all done for you. Things that you could do for yourself, but you don't have to because you're staying at this hotel. So this is what romance is about. But you don't have to go to hotels always and go out to eat always. Every day you can create these hormones by doing things for her that she could do for herself, but she has to ask for it. That's the big estrogen. That's her part of it. She has to be the one who asks. You can't just expect a man to be a mind reader and whatever. It's a 2-way street, romance. So when she is opening up, asking for what she wants, he delivers. When he delivers your request, boom, he bonds with you more. So we'll do one more fix when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
You date not to find your partner, but you create a series of dates, and your goal is to feel good and have a man do things for you. So you definitely would never pay for the meal. You would ask him, let him pick from places you'd like to go. Don't let him pick. It's always going to be you sharing what your wishes and needs are, and he will fulfill it. And you'll get no resistance from him. And clearly, just because he wants to have sex, don't have sex with him. And if you want to have sex with him and he hasn't even dated you for long, then you're not in touch with your female side. The female side always wants to be seen and heard and feel safe and get to know somebody. And then the energy comes from the head to the heart down to the genitals. If it starts at the genitals, you're in fantasy land. You're imagining. You're not in reality. Women need reality. And a lot of women, if I'm not turned on to him, he must be wrong. No, get to know a guy, and sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it doesn't, and you move on. So create a series of positive dates. without the goal of deciding whether he's the one for you. In the same way, if you were to buy a house and if you were to come to my house, you'd say, oh, it's a beautiful house, everything. I used to do tours of my house. Now I'm just used to it, but it's a beautiful home. But if you wanted to buy my home, you'd hire somebody to look at everything that's wrong with the house. That's what happens when you're dating to look for the perfect person for you. Your brain goes into a mode of only looking at what's wrong rather than what's good. So take the pressure off of him and off of you. Be with somebody who you don't have to impress, somebody who's trying to impress you, and know that you have no obligation to marry him, to have sex with him, to stay anywhere. He gets the joy of providing something to a woman who's happy with him. And that's how sometimes women feel, well, I want to pay for the meal because I can. Or sometimes they feel, I don't want to be obligated to have sex with him. I say, well, you're not obligated to have sex just because a guy spends money on you. The fact that you appreciate the money is why men need women. It's women who can appreciate what a man can do for her. So if a woman has less money, she easily can love her husband more if he has more money. If she has more money, she doesn't get that benefit, but she can become aware that she needs more help coming back to her female side. Because generally for women who make money, they're not tending to their female side as much. And a man can certainly help provide that for you, but you have to learn how to educate him and ask.